I wanted to get involved in something for Israel. I feel very passionate about Israel. I'm not massively religious, but I feel very strong ties to Israel. And I wanted to do more than just give. And I wanted to actually do something with people that I believed in, where I could see where the money was going and actually feel a part of something.
I got involved with Laniado through a very good friend of mine, Sam Diani, who was emigrating to America for a couple of years, and he asked me to step into his executive functions at Laniado Charity. He said to me that it's a charity that is building a hospital in Israel. I asked him if he was mad, as I'm a Muslim and he was building a hospital in Israel. And when he explained to me exactly the work that the charity did, I thought it was absolutely fantastic that there was a hospital in Israel that helped both the Israelis and the Muslims that live there.
It's great that I have some connection and that my family have been involved in the past, but ultimately I would choose to do this regardless.
I met with the charity. Yael is passionate about the hospital, as in fact all of the people that are involved are. The work that they do is incredible. You just cannot help but want to help a hospital that is doing good work in an area of incredible need.
The Rebbe who founded the hospital pretty much lost everything that was dear to him, and yet on his mind was going on to not only found the hospital for his community or for his family and friends. This was actually about a hospital that would treat anyone. The Rebbe isn't there running the hospital now, by the way. Yeah, it's the doctors, the nurses, the administrators that are there, and yet you speak to any of them and they seem to have the principles of the Rebbe also at heart, which is phenomenal. It's as if they've each been personally selected, touched by this message, yeah, and that is why they're there. And so, you know, ultimately, that's for me what makes Laniado different and makes it so relevant, whether you're in Israel, the UK, America, Brazil. It doesn't really matter. It's the principle. It's the understanding that, regardless of the odds, we will do the right thing. One
key ethic of the hospital is patients are treated as individuals. It's not just a patient and the doctor goes to the ward and just, you know, however stretched they are, the doctor will always make an effort to know the history of the patient, their family history, and I don't just mean their medical history, they'll want to know about that patient. The nurses are incredibly caring, not just to make sure that the patient is actually looked after, but spiritually looked after and made to feel important and cared for.
The beauty of Laniado is that in a geography with so much conflict, there's an oasis of peace and calm, and that's why it's a worthwhile cause.
Hi guys, thank you so much for coming in today. Your names were given to us by Spencer and Yael at Laniado because they thought you'd be very interested in learning more about the charity.
It is inspiring, you guys want to get involved. You might find this strange, but we do encourage everybody before they get involved to go to the hospital, simply because we feel that you need to know about the charity that you're being involved in firsthand to really be an ambassador. So, you know, we're actually pleased that you've come forward today and have a little bit of a surprise for you, I suppose.
So on that note, we'd like to send you out to Israel to see the hospital firsthand.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Amazing.
The only thing we ask of you is that you come back after your trip and talk to the committee and potentially other Laniado recruits about your experience in Israel and at the hospital. We'd appreciate that.
100%. Thank you.
Definitely. That's great. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very
we look
much.
forward to seeing you.
Thank
on your
you.
return.
So what's the difference between this hospital for you and other hospitals that you've been to?
The people. And everything works like clockwork. I came here in an emergency.
Okay.
And everybody knew exactly what to do, and they did it one thing after the other. And I always say to my friends, if you've got to get sick, this is the place to do it.
Just really touching being in here, and I don't know. I mean, everyone, you know, they're just so content. This is, you know, where they are. This is, you know, I guess where they're always going to be now. And I don't know. They still, you know, they still talk about, you know, being blessed and, you know, being in this hospital and, you know, the spirit of things. And I don't know. It's quite emotional.
We have only 400 square meters here, and we calculated that we need 1,500 at least. When I started here, we had 30,000 emergency room visits a year, 10 years ago. Today we have 70,000. And we have the same space. When I started, Netanya had 150,000 population. Today they have 300,000. And we have the same emergency room. It's impossible.
How do you cope with one trauma room?
It's very difficult. Sometimes we have to decide who is going to live and who is going to die, because we don't have the possibility to treat them, all of them optimally. Just imagine when you have a traffic accident, you have 2, 3, 4 injured, and you have one trauma room. So you have to decide who is going to the trauma room.
It's amazing. Yeah, pick and choose.
Yes. You want to see the trauma room?
I'd love to. Love to.
You just got to give them a start. They need to have a good start in life. And this seems to be the right place to start. Very important. I remember it's very difficult when you're in a premature baby wing, but they are tough little cookies, tougher than you expect. It's the noises of the pinging of the machines that you remember, and the smell of the antiseptic. Most of them survive. We didn't have that fortune. He had a brain hemorrhage. That's the day we were taking him home.
The day we were taking him home.
But I was holding him at the time, and then he died about 2 weeks later. But he just looked like this little one.
Yeah.
everybody says, you know, the same thing, whether it be patients, the doctors and nurses, volunteers, you know, people, I guess, like you and I coming here, everybody, you know, you feel that special something, and
I get the impression that the babies are saying the same thing.
and every single one of them right now is saying the same thing. Yeah. Saying get the checkbooks out.
Yeah.
So guys, welcome back.
Thank you.
So what did you think?
I'm so glad that you sent us out there, because just reading about Laniado in a brochure is completely different from going out there and seeing it for yourself, because you understand what everyone talks about, the spirit, and that really comes across when you go out there. I mean, the only way I could probably describe it to people who've never been to the hospital is that feeling when you arrive in Israel and, you know, you feel that extra something the minute you get there. That's the feeling that these people in the hospital have every single day. The patients, the doctors, the volunteers, and you really get it when you go there and you see it for yourself.
So if there's one moment that will stay with you from your trip to Laniado, what would that be?
For me, it was the fact that 1 minute you're in the neonatal wing with babies that have just been born at 27 weeks, and then the next minute you're in the geriatric ward where you're dealing with people who are fighting to survive and being fed, and there's the similarities of a baby and a 90-year-old, and you've still got the same helpers, the same people that are trying to do the best for both lives and not differentiating between survival of a baby and survival in dignity of the older patient.
It's a very pro-peace hospital, and it's willing to treat everybody, and it's amazing to be able to walk in there and to see Arab doctors treating Israeli patients and vice versa. And if we could take anything away, it's that, you know, bringing that peace together. And I think that's a really touching part of it for me.
We met a patient that had just suffered a heart attack, and he was sitting up in bed with a big beard, he was couple on, he had a lovely smile, and regardless of the way he felt, when we asked him what makes Laniado unique, he spoke about the fact that someone came in and he said, and he had the Shabbat service, there was Hafdalah, and the fact that he could be spiritually alive helped with his progress. And I think that's what, until you see that patient and listen to what they have to say, no one's going to get it.
Is there any particular area that you saw at the hospital that was crying for help and in need of funding?
For me, with my own personal experience, I unfortunately lost my first son in a London hospital. He was born premature, he was in an incubator, and the day we were taking him home, unfortunately, he passed away. And if I think that we can raise enough money to buy another incubator to save another baby, that would give me my own personal satisfaction.
It's clear that you both have got so much to say and so much to tell everyone about your experience at Laniado. Would you be prepared to speak at our forthcoming dinner?
Absolutely love to.
Yep, no problem.
That's great, fantastic. Thanks for volunteering, and look forward to hearing much more from you at the dinner.
Fantastic.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Good. Thank you.